Okay, so I just want to give a couple reminders so that if we went too quick in class or something like that, or you need a review, I just wanted to put this up here, a quick video about type. I got a little excited and ahead of myself by having us do both of these. Don't worry about page 2 right now. For now, I want you to just figure out how to do these things in Illustrator. So the first thing is to get a text box out. Remember, we want to have our character menu open. If you do not have your character menu open, you can go to Window, down to Type, and hover over Type and choose Character. And that window will look like this. Also remember that using shortcuts on your keyboard is going to make your life a lot easier. So the shortcut to get to this selection tool, which is our bestie, is V. So you can always press V and get back to that. The shortcut for the type tool is T. So I'm going to press T. If I click and release with this little cursor, the words lorem ipsum will show up. And delete that. I'm going to press T again. Oop. If I click and drag with this cursor, a paragraph of body text will show up. Now, this is only 2 lines of text, so if you want your text to be smaller so more fits in, we go to our character menu. Our character menu, this first part is our typeface, the first drop down. The second drop down is the weight or font of that typeface. This first left-hand side menu is our text size. So down to 11 is pretty small. You can go up. You can also just type in there, and you can also do a drop down. Now, as you can see, with 18, I wanted a little more text in there. So I could do a couple things. If I want the font to be smaller in this type box, what I can do is delete this. And now what is showing right here is going to be the type that comes into my text box. So if I want the font that comes into the text box to be smaller, I can just get that started right here. Make sure it's still there. And now I can pull out a box and it will have size 9 in it. So that's much smaller. We'll get to that part later. So in this first box, all we want is serif text. I'm a visual lady, as you all know, so I would like to have just the regular lorem ipsum. I want it to be a little bit big, so I'm changing the size there. I just pressed V so that I'd have my selection key, so I wasn't making a new text box. I was able to move this text box around. And a serif, remember, is a letter that has little tails on the edges of it. This one is not a serif text. So I can just look through, clear all. I can just look through and find a typeface that has serifs on it, like Bodoni. Or if you feel like you're not quite sure yet, you can always apply a filter and say, so here's our serif, slab serif, and if you hover over it, it will tell you which each one is. But you can choose your serifs and it will show you all your serifs that you have. Whoop. Now I'm going to clear my filters. Doop. And done. Doop, 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 doop. Now I'm going to do a sans serif. So when I press text, whatever you last did as far as size, typeface, is going to show up again. So we have that same sized image. I like the size. But this is not a sans serif. We actually have serifs on this one. So let's go back in here. And again, if you feel pretty confident, you're welcome to just look through and find There we go. That one has no serifs on it, so that works. It really doesn't matter which one as long as I can tell that you know the difference. Decorative fonts. And so you'll realize that you have to start toggling between. You're going to start loving using the V. At least I do. Now, decorative fonts. So there are a couple in here. Let's see. So, this would be a decorative font. If you want to look for more decorative fonts, you can go to Find More. Oh, well, it looks like it's not wanting to do that right now, but you can usually go here and find more. But for now, we'll just go to what we have. Filter, clear all. Fonts. I don't have favorites, so we don't want that. And I can just go here and choose a decorative font. And of course, I'm taking so long on this because I'm so font happy. Bubblegum Pop. Woohoo! Oh no, come on. We want Bubblegum Pop. If you know the name of your font or a typeface, you can just type it in up there and it will predict. Now we're going to do a script font. So scripts are letters that go together. And I'm just going to skip ahead now because you guys are getting the idea here, hopefully. For anatomy, we're going to probably want a pretty big, letter form here. So probably Bubblegum Pop's not the best one. I would choose a regular, sort of a basic serif or sans serif. And here you're going to start using your line tools. So line segment right here. If you click and hold Shift, your line segment will remain straight. Now, I can see the line segment right now because it's highlighted, but if you look over here, you'll see that once I click off, it's not going to look like that because there's no fill and no stroke. So we do want a stroke, boop, and that is at 1 point, so it's pretty thin. If you want it a little thicker, you can do that. And if you feel like you basically just want to copy that one, if you pull and hold Option, things will be repeated for you. So now I have 3 lines. I can use my little paintbrush here to show this is the cap height, the baseline, bonk, the X height, doop. So you're getting a couple uses out of your tools now. A descender, remember, is a letter form that goes below the baseline, and an ascender, in fact, there really isn't an ascender in this one. So you may have to make more letters, but I'll let you, now that you know what you're doing, you can figure that out. Down here, we are doing alignment. So remember, alignment is the way that a box of text is arranged. And if you recall from up here, if we want to make a text box and we want to see multiple lines of text, it's likely that we're going to want a pretty small size of type. So here in the character, I'm going to just preset myself here and go down to, size 8. That's very small. That would be difficult to read, but for this purpose, we're good. Here is our body text. And again, you can use your straight line tool. Hold Shift and it will remain straight. Make sure you give it a color. And you can use your... So here's our rag, bonk, bonk. Here's our hard edge, donk, donk. And then down below, there's a lot of clicking here. You probably hear a lot of clicking. We're going to do left align. So if you pull out a paragraph Left aligned means that the hard edge is on the left. And look, woohoo, it already is, so we don't have to do anything to that one. Right aligned. Now, when you pull it out, automatically it's going to be left aligned. So usually if you get the character window, it's going to pop up with paragraph behind it. And so you can click on that. If you do not have paragraph behind it, you can go to Window, to Type, and choose your paragraph window. As you can see, mine is open. That's why there's a check. So, right align. Woohoo! Hard edge on the right, rag on the left. Let's pull out another one, and the new one that we pull out is going to be right aligned again because that's what we have it set at. Center aligned means we have a rag on both sides. Yucky, we don't like that, but that's how you do it. And Illustrator gives a lot of options for justified text. Justified means that it has two hard edges, but you can also justify and then the last line can be aligned in a different way. Because often you'll have just a couple words at the end of a paragraph, so that's the reason that they do that. But this would be officially justified. And then you see there's that huge space in between, so if you didn't like that, you could do one of these options. That is justified. Now, tracking and kerning, I will get back to that.